The idea that this country can be isolated from Europe just spits in the wind of history. We have never been isolated from Europe. Our politics has always been absolutely interwoven with Europe. And God knows, if you look at the last 100 years or so, just look what that means. And it's still the same today. We are the financial capital of Europe. We are a very important political influence in Europe. We have an enormous interdependence with Europe economically. We are one of the biggest recipients of foreign inward investment. And the idea that you can sort of cut us off, there are lots of things that should be done about improving Europe, but giving up and leaving Germany as the dominant European partner, frankly, spits in the wind of English foreign policy over centuries. I believe that when the great argument comes about Europe, and suddenly people realize that UKIP is saying, we're going to opt out, we're going to pack it in, we're going to leave the Europe that now exists, 27 countries, dominated increasingly by Germany, and we're going to sit on our bottoms on an island offshore and think the world is going to say, oh, whoopee, look at good old Britain in there. Britain, I assume the Scots Nats lose, which I think they will. Good old Britain, they're independent and free. The fact is, we would just be an offshore island. The Americans would immediately start switching to their priorities towards Europe. Inward investment would start changing its emphasis towards Europe. The City of London would come under great pressure because the Europeans would start fixing the rules. And people have got no sense of history. We tried all this stuff. We tried to keep out of Europe in the 50s when they started on the journey. And then we tried to compete with them, with the European Free Trade Area. And that all fell apart as members of our club joined Europe. And if you look at the euro crisis, the whole reporting in this country was all about the imminent disaster. It's going to fail. It's going to be an economic wreck. Actually, it isn't a wreck. It is beginning to work.